Okay, it's Juicy Tidbit time, guest edition. We're here with Brendon Long. He's here from Florida. How have you enjoyed your time at the lab?
It's been great so far.
Yeah, not a planted answer. It's been great. But anyways, he's going to teach us how to hit the roll drop, right?
I think so. I'm going to try.
Yeah, you better.
I'm going to teach it if they're going to listen. I don't know.
The roll drop, the drop is not dead, folks. The roll drop is also well and alive. But just as a reminder, what other types of drops are there? Maybe we can just show it. Like, people may be accustomed to just this normal kind of lift drop, you know, just up and over.
I mean, I don't really call it a roll drop. I call it like a topspin drop.
Topspin drop,
It's
wow.
like whatever. I don't know if there's a reason I call it that. I just do. But then you can hit like a flat or a slice drop. That's just like kind of the three divisions that I hit.
Yeah, there's like the shovel drop. But when are you going to use, you've been hitting the roll drop for like all 19 years that you've been playing. Mm-hmm. When do you use the roll drop?
So, right, the roll drop, you hit the topspin.
The topspin drop.
Yeah.
The topspin drop.
So since it has a topspin, you can hit it harder and it dips down in the court. So generally, the easier of a ball I have coming to me, the more likely I am to hit a topspin drop.
Right. So if there's like a weak or neutral return that kind of sits up, then you can kind of manipulate that with the topspin drop. If you're off your back foot on a hard kind of line drive at your feet, you would not. It would be something more defensive.
Yeah, the better of a return, the less likely I am to do it, and the worse of a return, the more likely I am to do it. And so the better of a return, the more likely I am to hit it flat or slice.
Got it. And he can hit it straight, middle, cross. We're going to show you cross here. That gives you some margin for error. That gives you a little bit of room to be a little bit more aggressive, especially if someone's unwinding the stack. To use the topspin drop, we're going to go with that. Topspin drop.
The same with any topspin ball you're going to hit. You're going to get your paddle head down below the ball.
Yeah.
Right. Number one important, if you can't get the paddle head below the ball, you're not going to hit topspin.
Yeah.
Right. So it comes from just going from low to high, brushing up on it, so that you get the topspin.
Got it.
I think a big mistake people make is that as soon as they hit a topspin drop, they want to hit more topspin than anybody's ever hit in the entire world on every single ball. So they try and really flick it. And the more you flick your wrist, the more topspin you're going to get, but the higher the variance of the shot is, right? The more likely you're going to hit it poorly.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do that, right? You can literally just get your paddle head below the ball and just come up without even having to use your wrist that much. And you're still going to get a little bit of topspin.
Right. So you want that low to high motion, and you want that the dwell time. You want the ball to kind of sit as your paddle kind of brings that up through it, as opposed to like the quick little windshield wiper. We don't want the it's like a boom.
Yeah.
And you typically finish like towards the right side or like middle of your body. It's not like a big cross. And typically, typically, people shouldn't be trying to swipe across. You're really, to emphasize the up motion, your follow through may cross over to your neutral side, but it's not.
The more you do that, the harder it's going to be.
Yeah.
But the higher ceiling you are to hit it, but the more likely you are to hit it poorly.
Yes, and I think for everything 6-0 and below, consistency is everything. Everyone's trying to raise the floor. But this is an interesting shot because, one, it's like a fundamental one. Two, you can use it quite a lot, especially if you're getting those neutral or weak returns. And three, it does provide some pressure. So we're going to show you the other angle of like this. Because this ball is topspin, it's falling down at her feet, and that makes it tricky to judge for like how to take it out of the air, or if it does land, it's going to come up a little bit, and I have to like respond to that on my foreshot.
Yeah, it has a lot of benefits because when I'm hitting the topspin drop, I'm setting up just to hit a topspin ball, right? So I can set up, hit a drop, I can set up, hit a hybrid that's in between a drop or a drive, or I can set up and then hit an actual drive from there, and they don't know what I'm going to hit, right? So I'm a big fan of setting it, preparing in ways that they don't know exactly what I'm going to do. Like one of the downsides of like preparing for like a slice ball is that as soon as you show slice paddle head up, they know it's a slice, and then I'm never going to drive it.
Yeah.
Right. So I can prep for my drop, and they don't know I'm going to.
Right. And then you've got three things that emanate out from the same paddle tip. The thing I want folks to pay attention in this section of the Juicy Tidbit is like, look at this ball flight and look how not necessarily aggressive with an arm it is. Right. You know, I don't know how many revolutions of the ball that's spitting, but there's just enough to make this kind of like a punishing shot that allows some optionality in the play too. Yeah.
I switched paddles right before.
Boom. See that? You see that spin? There's nothing crazy going on with his wrist. And that ball is coming down in a jiffy. So if I want to handle that, I have to delicately volley. Or if I let it bounce, then it's like even scarier proposition. Yeah. Boom. Boom. Oh, good one. Good one. Any other notes, Brendon? Like, it's particularly powerful, I think, when people are unwinding. So I'm coming into this spot and I need to kind of handle this. Any other things that you look out for as the play develops?
I think people get stuck too much in like the name of things.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like, oh, it's a drop, it has to bounce in the kitchen.
Got
Or
it.
it's a whatever, right? I don't care what the name is, you just hit it where you want, right? Sometimes I'm not even aiming to hit my drops in the kitchen. If they're unwinding a stack, I may just hit it right behind the line.
Yeah.
If they're not there, it's better.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, landing here is arguably a little bit more threatening than here, especially if I'm not already in place.
Right, and I'm going to scale that based off of essentially how good of a return I hit.
Yeah.
Or sorry, how good of a serve I hit. So I'm going to scale it based off how good of a serve I hit, where if I hit an absolute bomb into the corner, I know they're going to be late, or they hit it off balance.
Yeah.
I'm going to look to just hit it deeper.
Yeah.
A lot of times people, like the commentators happens all the time where I hit it, and in my head it's a drop, but they like call it a hybrid.
Yeah.
It's like I just hit a drop 5% harder and like, oh, that's a hybrid. But to me, it's just a fast drop.
Yeah, you're hitting a topspin ball. Boom.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Now it's very good if I give you topspin, right?
Well, if you slice it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the more you slice, the more topspin I'm going to get on my shot.
And that's why people don't, shout out to Mari, but most folks are not giving slice on the return because the spin continuation, you're already giving them slice, so when they want to apply topspin, it's even stronger.
Yeah.
Any other notes we should be mindful of? You can do this, again, heads up. If someone's unwinding to this side, Brendon can hit this to me.
Right, you can hit it down the line. If you're on the
you
right,
can
you can go across. Yeah, it's just the same idea.
Nice ball.
And if you are hitting it, like, I think the best way to start out is just hitting it safer and on the easier balls. But as you get better, you can hit it on more difficult balls.
Yeah.
Right, and you can also go more aggressively. So like, as you're more comfortable with it, you can start hitting more and more topspin on it.
Right.
But
so how do people, for the folks who do this already or finding that groove and want to add a little bit more topspin, how do folks generate more topspin? Is that going from lower, starting lower, or is that like low and like brushing up a little bit higher? Or
yeah, brushing up more, maybe using a little bit more wrist, and just thinking about accelerating more.
Yeah.
I think a cue that a lot of coaches use that I think is really bad is they tell people to come over the top of the ball.
Right, right.
Terrible. It's going to make you hit a terrible drop.
So like, I mean, I think what Brendon's referencing is like coming over the top and really trying to come up on it.
That's a classic thing they say, like on every like topspin rolls, like volley attacks and whatever. Like a lot of coaches tell people to like, oh, come over the top of it because I think that's what's going to make you hit more. But you really are coming under it.
It's low to high. Even on the dinks, when we see people who have like heavy kind of topspin dinks, they're not brushing up over the top. It's like almost physically impossible to do that consistently. They're just pulling up on it, and that's where you get that kind of topspin.
Yeah, and you can go heavier, right? If I want to go more, like if you feed me more.
Yeah.
Right, I can hit one that's just a little bit, and then if I want, I could whip it and hit a little bit more.
Yeah.
Even though that was wide.
Yeah, no, I mean.
I can go heavier topspin if I want.
Yeah.
I think something you need to think about is that the downside of hitting the topspin drop is, one, it's just harder, right? It's a more difficult shot to execute. It's like more mechanically intensive than hitting a flat or a slice ball.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's actually harder to get yourself into the kitchen. And it's also harder to get in the kitchen since you have topspin, you can hit it faster. And the faster you hit the ball, the less time you have to come into the kitchen.
Yeah.
So when you hit an aggressive topspin ball, it's actually harder to get yourself into the kitchen.
Right, it's like, for your partner to provide some pressure.
Like the shot itself is better, more likely for the other person to make a mistake, they're going to be in more trouble, but for you to get into the kitchen is actually harder. If you want to get into the kitchen hitting a flat or a slice ball yourself, it floats up, right? The slice holds the ball up, it actually lets you come in more.
Do the Andre, Dylan, Gabe, where it's like boom, and then you're like coming up and I'm already there. Yeah, got it. Awesome, that's a very interesting note. That's why we got B Long up here from Florida. Hopefully everyone in Florida and the Carolinas is safe, but let's do a little slow-mo. topspin roll drop from Brendon Long. It's got to be top 5 in the game. We're honored to have him on Raise the Bar. We're honored to have him here in Austin. You should follow his path. He's playing APPs, PPAs, going to play nationals. Brendon H. Long on the handles.
Yep.
Brendon H. Long. Doesn't post much, but when he does, it's a banger. But anyways, thank you for tuning in. Let us know if you have any questions. Happy to give you some more tips and tricks on that. But it's a critical shot. You should be working into your game. So we'll catch you next week.
Ooh.